From Delaware's most award-winning radio news team, this is WDEL Video News. Here's Chris Carl.
Among Delaware's top stories for Tuesday, March 27th, the fate of a state representative will be decided today. The state auditor uncovers financial wrongdoing in the Christina School District. And we'll take it to Philly spring training. Here are the details. The State House today will debate a censure for Millsboro Republican John Atkins. Atkins was stopped for suspicion of drunken driving last October, then arrested on a domestic violence charge at his home. Some lawmakers in both parties say the sanctions and the censure measure don't go far enough. They want Atkins to leave office either voluntarily or through expulsion. And expulsion would require a two-thirds vote of the House. Some of Atkins' critics say his biggest sin came after he called a friend for a ride after the traffic stop in Maryland, then once inside the Delaware line drove himself home. State Auditor Tom Wagner says former Christina School District Superintendent Joseph Wise charged thousands of dollars inappropriately on his district credit card. Wagner says Wise had more than 560 transactions on the card in an 18-month period starting July 2003, totaling almost $76,000.
For example, there were 6 gift certificates totaling $450 that were purchased from the Hotel DuPont for board members, things of that nature that can be appropriate in a corporate setting, but just are, in my opinion, inappropriate use of taxpayers' dollars.
Christina officials say they have taken steps to correct problems outlined in this and previous reports by the auditor. Police investigating a rape allegation against Jerry Capano seized weapons and ammunition from his Greenville home last week. Capano has not been charged with any crime, but is prohibited in his 1999 plea bargain from possessing any weapons. Capano pleaded guilty 8 years ago to a federal firearms offense after admitting he helped his brother Tom dump the murder body of Emery Fahey in the ocean. Jerry Capano's attorney, Dan Lyons, says the rifles seized in the raid were antique Civil War guns that had been modified so they couldn't fire, and Lyons has already said his client denies the rape allegation. Well, Elvis wasn't in the building, but he was a topic in Delaware court yesterday. WDEL News continues in a moment.
As you look for your college experience, make sure you look at Wilmington College, your key to success.
Newark City Council votes to give all city employees a 3% pay hike. WDEL's Ken Grant with details.
Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those no, motion passes.
And with that unanimous vote, Newark City Council agreed to a 3% cost of living increase for all non-union city employees. City Councilman Jerry Clifton says this increase has become a standard operating procedure for the city.
And this really is nothing more than a housekeeping issue. We do this every year. We allow for the increase that the unions get.
The raises go into effect April 1 and will cover department managers, directors, and the city secretary. One member of the public spoke in favor of the pay raises. The next regularly scheduled meeting of Newark City Council on April 9 has been canceled due to the city elections on April 10. Ken Grant, 11:50 a.m., WDEL.
Well, state police have arrested 2 suspects and are looking for 2 others in connection with a prescription fraud probe. Kevin Miller and Edward Maisley allegedly stole prescription blanks from a Newark doctor, forged their names, and used the bogus prescriptions to get narcotics at several drugstores. Police are also looking for Christopher Walls and Wendy Linton in connection with the scheme. A Delaware Chancery Court judge says a collection of Elvis memorabilia should be inspected by an insurance company. Vice Chancellor Leo Strine granted the motion of Richard Long, an investor who paid $1.2 million for items once owned by Dr. George Nikolopoulos, Elvis's private physician. Long believes a lot of interest exists in the collection and wants it insured so it can be taken on the road. Long's partner in a Delaware corporation, Robert Gallagher, won't give Long access to the collection, saying Long owes him more money. A trial could come by August. A fundraising drive is underway to save a critical piece of property within the Brandywine battlefield in Chester County. The Brandywine Conservancy is embarked on a project to raise $10 million to keep the property from being developed. While part of the battlefield is preserved, spokeswoman Sherry Evans Stanton says the more than 100 acres in question played a key role in the Revolutionary War.
It's an area where the largest battle of the American Revolution, based on number of combatants, took place. And 5 properties were identified. 4 have been permanently protected with conservation easements, and we are now trying to protect the 5th property, which is actually the hole in the donut.
You can make a donation online at savethebattlefield.org. A big trade for the Eagles. WDEL Sports and your Delaware AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Oh,
Is everything okay, ma'am?
not really. I need to ride DART tomorrow to get to work, and I forgot to buy my DART card. I guess I'll have to find a ride.
Well, you certainly come to the right place. Didn't you know that Acme now sells DART cards and paratransit multi-trip cards?
No, where?
They're available at our customer service desk.
Getting you there now starts at your 12 Delaware neighborhood Acme markets. DART and Acme have joined in partnership to be your one-stop shopping place for both groceries and DART cards. It's now easier and more convenient than ever to pick up your DART cards with Acme.
I'm Peter MacArthur.
I'm Melanie Armstrong, and here are Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour.
The most complete coverage of the news that matters in Delaware every weekday morning, 5:30 to 9 on 1150 AM WDEL.
In WDEL Sports, Big Don Volts reports from Philly spring training.
Sometimes you just might run into a Hall of Famer, as we did Sunday at Bright House Networks Field. Hall of Fame pitcher Ferguson Jenkins was on hand for a good cause, signing autographs for a local children's hospital. When Jenkins played for the Phillies, it was at the beginning of his Hall of Fame career, in the mid-60s. His spring training took place at Jack Russell Stadium, and he has fond memories of his teammates.
Well, I pitched in Connie Mack Stadium. Dick Allen was my roommate for part of a spring training. Played with Johnny Callison and Jim Bunning and Chris Short. Quite a few of some of the good ball players, Wes Covington. So I really enjoyed my short period of time with the Phillies.
Jenkins was inducted into the Hall in 1991. Baseball has changed since then, with a new generation of players like Ryan Howard taking the lead. And Fergie likes what he sees.
I think it's really gotten better. Every sport has something that happens to it. Unfortunately, baseball has suffered over the last 9 or 10 years with the steroid and now with growth hormones. I think Bud Selig is trying to straighten it out, and I think he's doing a great job.
So remember, the next time you're at a spring training game, you could meet a Hall of Famer too, and maybe get his autograph. In Clearwater, Don Volts, 1150 AM, WDEL.
And the Eagles acquired Takeo Spikes, a Pro Bowl linebacker, and quarterback Kelly Holcomb from the Buffalo Bills in exchange for defensive tackle Darwin Walker. The Bills also get a conditional draft pick in 2008. Spikes is a 9-year NFL veteran and have been seeking a contract extension with Buffalo. Your WDEL Delaware AccuWeather forecast: clouds and sun mixed through today with a high reaching 77. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 50. For tomorrow, clouds limit sun, the high up to 64. Get news updates throughout the day. Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour on 1150 AM WDEL, or anytime right here at WDEL.com, including news video from Delaware and around the world from WDEL and the Associated Press. I'm Chris Carl. Thanks for watching.